just for having that next man up mentality. Obviously, we didn't expect, Ryan to be out. That was just something that, happened. Stuff happens, and we understand that it was a next man up mentality. And, it starts with our defense. And, we're just going to continue to say that each and every single time because it truly is our defense. Our defense sparked, offensive runs, and we get to be able to go out and transition and, play our game because that's what we really thrive on offense.
So now the crew had 13 of his 19 in the second half. Was there a concerted effort after halftime to get him the ball inside, or is that just kind of how everything was going?
Well, there's always an effort to get him the ball just because he's so good down there, and he shoots like 90% on the year, like it's insane. So anytime we can get him the ball on the post, rolls, whatever it is, short rolls, whatever it is, we're always trying to get him the ball. Same with this guy, Kanai, our bigs, Ali, we're really trying to, coach has been making an emphasis recently to get our bigs the ball and get them in the post, so we can play splits and everything else. But anytime, Sananda gets the ball on the roll or in the post, good things are going to happen. So we try to do that as much as we can.
Yeah, Javon, when you were on his radio show Thursday, you were kind of talking about what happened back there with the players after the Duke game, and how you were just talking about people. People were saying that guys needed to be kind of more vocal and trying to keep each other more accountable to the standard that this program has. I'm just curious, how did you kind of see that, through your practice and then your prep for today's game? Just kind of like from that moment I'm in the locker room, how did it kind of like carry over for the rest of the week?
I think just our team is really just trying to find a lot of solutions to a lot of our problems, and that's just what a really good team does. You obviously find solutions to your problems, and like we've all talked about, just like all of our recent struggles and stuff like that. We just sat down as a team. We spent some time at practice, actually a really long time in practice, just kind of like just trying to figure out solutions as to how we can handle the middle ball screen better. And obviously I'm not going to give away all of our stuff that we've been working on, but like we have a lot of our stuff in our back pocket that we'll eventually use, and just certain stuff like that we're just coach is doing a really good job, and the staff is of like just listening to us and taking recommendations on what we see out there, how we can implement different things on the court, and we all really appreciate that.
Okay.
Isaac, it felt like early on in the second half, your teammates were kind of trying to get you going a little bit. I imagine you dealt with some frustration in this game. What did it feel like to finally get it going?
Yeah, as a shooter, you got to have that next shot mentality. I think I missed my first 5 or 6, but I'm always thinking in my head the next one's going in, and I can't lose my aggressiveness. And shout out to the guys. They're picking me up even when I'm missing, telling me to keep shooting because that's what I do. Coach PK was drawing up sets for me, like trying to get me going. And once I saw one go down, I was thankful finally to see one go down. But it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So I'm thankful to finish the game well, and we all did. We turned it up on the defensive end, started sharing the ball better on offense, and we looked a lot better towards the end. So I'm super happy with how we finished the game.
Go ahead, David.
You guys kind of had a sluggish start defensively in the first half. What was Pat Kelsey's message to you guys at halftime to kind of get you guys to guard more, and what was the defensive message from him?
I think that last little, 2-3 minute hit out of halftime, we actually did a really good job on the defensive end. I think we stopped him, 3-4 times in a row, and that kind of just carried us over to, the halftime. And, obviously we didn't come out of half as, we typically should. But I think our team did a really good job of, turning the page after they scored like a quick low 6 to 8 points right away. Obviously that's not ideal, but I think we did a really good job of, in those certain times, like coming back to the huddle, and the coaching staff has done a really good job of letting us, talk first in the huddle, like having the players come out there, sit down, and have us talk and really, try to find solutions to our problems again. And then the staff will come in after a couple of minutes, and that's just something that we're trying now, and it did pretty good today.
For both of you guys, I know you didn't play today, but it sounds like London will be available for you guys later on this season. If you both can talk just a little bit about what he would bring to the team, especially the backcourt, and how you expect him to contribute coming down, getting ready for the postseason.
Yeah, London's a really good player. He's only been here for about 3 or 4 weeks, but he's been competing with us in practice every day. Obviously, it's going to take time to learn the sets, whatever it is, all that kind of stuff. But PK's message to him is just go out there, try your hardest. He's going to be a point guard. He's going to make plays for us. He's going to get downhill. He can do all that. He can guard, really good defender. I think he's going to be able to provide us with some really good minutes down the stretch, down the course of the season. We've had some injuries. He's going to be able to step up. And like Vaughn said earlier, we're a next man up program, so he's going to be able to give us some good minutes down the stretch for sure.
Yeah, there's only so much we can do, or the coaching staff can do to, get him ready, and it's a big part on us to, get him ready. Whether it is like, talking to him after practice or whatever we can do on the court to, help him. But obviously we're gonna try to keep it as simple as possible when he does get out there. Obviously we're really excited to have him out there. He's a really good player. And yeah, it's on us to just make sure that we get him up to speed.
Javon, if you could just kind of talk about Kanai, and he comes off the bench today, great energy, 11 rebounds, couple crazy block shots. Like for you yourself, like what do you do to try to help, encourage him to go out there and continue to just be aggressive?
Yeah, I would just say, obviously, Kanai's a free cap here, but as everybody sees that with his game, he does a really good job of showcasing that. Obviously, like you said, he had like 11 rebounds today. It's easy when you have a guy out there. Personally, I love playing with him, like on the court together, because me and him are out there together, and we can just